The opera Carmen by Georges Bizet, based on Prosper Mérimée's novella of the same name, was premiered in 1875 at the Opéra Comique and was a resounding flop. An opera whose main character is a gypsy that prizes her freedom above all else and refuses to bend to male power was considered an affront to bourgeois society of the time. Bizet died 3 months later at the age of 37, believing he had failed with what he rightly considered to be his masterpiece. The year immediately after, the opera's success spread to Europe's major theatres, and since then, Carmen has been the second most performed opera ever. The opera is set in Seville. Carmen is a beautiful young gypsy skilled in the art of seduction who works at a cigarette factory next to a guardhouse. For her, love is like a wild bird that cannot be tamed, and when she loves, be careful, as she warns in her famous habanera. Freedom is her motto. She gets involved in a fracas with a factory workmate and is arrested. She is supposed to be in the custody of a dragon corporal, Don José. She seduces him and convinces him to free her hands and meet at Las Pastias Inn, as she sings in her seguidilla. Don José is arrested. After a couple of months, he is released and joins Carmen at the Las Pastias Inn, where she is with her companions Frasquita and Mercedes and the rest of the smugglers. Carmen inebriates him, leaving him at her mercy. He becomes not only besotted with her, but also completely abandons his past life, letting her convince him to desert the army and join her group. Don José becomes a plaything in her hands, but Carmen begins to lose interest, fanning the flames of his jealousy. The great toreador Escamillo arrives in Seville singing of his great exploits. Carmen is fascinated by the bullfighter's bravery and exuberance. They fall in love. At the camp, Carmen, with Frasquita and Mercedes, is reading her fortune with cards, which foretell her death. The band of smugglers has a new shipment, and Don José is on guard duty. He intercepts an intruder who turns out to be Escamillo, who, unaware of José's identity, tells him he has only come looking for Carmen, that they are in love and she's tired of her previous lover, a soldier who deserted the army for her. Both engage in a duel, but they are interrupted by the returning smugglers. Escamillo insults Don José, then invites everyone to his next bullfight. Micaela, a young girl from Don José's village and former sweetheart, comes to the gypsy camp to persuade him to live that life. He does not want to return, but Micaela convinces him when he hears his mother is dying and wishes to say farewell to her only son. Don José tells Carmen that he will return for her. On the day of the bullfight, Don José encounters Carmen at the entrance of the arena, where Escamillo is fighting, telling her that he cannot live without her and is madly in love. Carmen replies that she loves Camillo and she's going to join him. Don José insists, begging her not to leave him. Carmen says that she would rather die than go back to him, throwing down the ring he gave her. Don José stabs her before the crowd that has gathered, weeping over her lifeless body.